Hi everyone, Namaskar. Um, the reason I come to you guys with a video is because I think right now the type of mental stress which each one of us is going through is probably happens to mankind once in 100 years or once in a century. It's complete catastrophe. Very important that we keep ourselves emotionally strong. Very easier, much easier said than done. Uh, and I thought, as somebody who is part of the society, who has seen four relatives, including my dad, uh, in last 1.5 months, I have lost three relatives. That includes my dad. Very close relatives. My uncle, my mama, and of course my dad. And about in the month of October, I lost my Masi, Chota Masi, to COVID. So, and the type of stress which I am going through, I think somewhere, in case not fully, but partially, I can relate to a lot of people who are going through stress, be it in personal life, be it in professional life. So I just want all of you to, be extremely humble, extremely spiritual, because this is a time when this is all done by God. Let's agree to this fact. We can blame China, we can blame XYZ country, this, that, and all. But let's understand that finally, not even our birth is in our hand, not even the number of hair in our body is in our hand, not even the death is in our hand. So nothing is in our hand. We practically, as human beings, claim that we have done it. But let's agree, I'm initiated by me and my wife, have been initiated by Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, we are disciples, and firmly believe in whatever Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans ji has said. Nothing is in our hand. We are just mere actors. The director is the God. Now, all said and done, many of us have got the theory right. Many of us have got the product right. Many of us got the whole life right, earning good money, everything, this, that, and all. But in case God, and that's also a will of a God. We may agree, we may not agree. I myself, if I take myself in a span of my life, about 8-9 years back, I used to believe in God, but I was not as much knowledgeable. I just used to believe in God because everybody used to believe in God, and I was going on with my life as usual. कहीं भगवान जी दिख गए तो मैं उनको नमन कर लेता था. But why I need to believe in God is very important, and which I had missed out till about 2012. I had a belief in God, but why I had to, it's very important to question yourself. If you don't question yourself, that's the beginning of the problem. अगर हम अपने आप को सवाल नहीं पूछ सकते, क्योंकि भगवान जी का we are made out of 5 dhatus. I don't want to get into that, but it's very important that we question ourselves. Every second, every minute, we as human beings are susceptible to 3 types of gunas. I'm not here to become a spiritual guru. Let me tell you this. I'm only here that how should we behave. And when I say how should we behave, it's much easier said than done. Much, much easier said than done. It needs a complete transformation of thoughts, now is the time where we need to transform. Probably God is letting us know that, look, you as human beings, or let's say we Indians, we need to transform a lot. Now, when I say transformation doesn't come superficially. Transformation has to happen right in here, right in the mind. In case you are not transformed mentally, you will not be transformed physically, outwardly, and all. So let's be very clear. You need to get transformed here. Now, what is that we need to transform? There are 7 vices of a human being. So there are 3 gunas, which most of you would know, or in case you guys don't know. So it is Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sattvic. So we all, come what may, we all, be it a powerful person, be it anybody, has to strive to become more sattvic. This is what is needed of Kali Yuga. Now, why do I say this? Where do I say this? And where is it all coming from? As I said, before 2012, I used to believe in God. I used to do my namans. I used to do my worships. But why I used to do was never the question which I asked myself. In last 8-9 years, I have strived to understand that why I need to. God has taught us to question. In fact, God wants us to question. But your question should be only, once you get the answers, should only be. So there are 2 ways which can happen. Either you're satisfied with the answers or you're not satisfied with them. I have been satisfied. I have been, satisfied with the answers which I got from myself, which I got by reading scriptures, which I got by, being initiated by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, by reading the Kathamrita or the Gospels of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the Gospels of Sri Sharda Mohima, Gospels of Swami Vivekananda, all the books. And also Sri Gajanan Maharaj. So whatever scriptures I could get on to, I read it. A lot of meditation I have done. I never used to do meditation before 2012. I used to do puja, go for work, and all this. So, but why I used to do, I never used to. So it's very important that why we need to be more spiritual. When I say you need to be spiritual, I also mean that you need to be less materialistic. When I say materialistic, it means that you don't give away everything. You don't give up everything. Just don't give up everything. That doesn't mean materialistic. What it means is your idea of profiteering, your idea of causing harm to someone or causing distress to someone else just for your own happiness, your idea of snatching somebody from something else, and all these things needs to be got rid of. When I say all this, it straight away relates to what the scriptures say about the 7 vices which a human being has: Kam, Krodh, Hingsha, Irsha, Ahankar, Lobh, Alas. In earlier times, when we go back to yugas and when we read the scriptures which are there in earlier times, people used to get up during Brahma Muhurt and they used to do a lot of mantras and strotas and all. The greatest, I am not here to propagate Hindu religion. Let me be very honest with you. I believe my Guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa has gone through all the religions, and he said finally the paths are different, destination is the same. It is the same for everyone. Be it a Hindu, be it a Christian, be it a Muslim, be it a Buddhist, be it a Sikh, anyone. So there is no differentiation between only the path might be different. Now, since I am a Hindu Brahmin, I can only vouch for what is there in Hinduism. And I believe the same things are related to Christianity, Sikhism, and Islam, Buddhism, all the religions of Jews, all the religions of the world. Now, what basically the great path of being a Hindu is, you have got strotas, you've got mantras, which is amazing. Now, these strotas and mantras are not gotten by somebody who was working in a corporate like you and me, and then in the evening he would come back and write it down. Not like that. These strotas and mantras are coming from yugas, previous yugas, this was their work, this was their full-time work. How to get rid of humanity, how to get the pain out of humanity, get rid of humanity out of the pain which they are going through. This is what their work was. I'm not editing this video for the sake of keeping it genuine and original, so there might be certain errors which might happen while I speak in the pronunciation or the way I'm aligning the sentences. The slokas and mantras are extremely powerful. Why the rituals? I never used to believe in rituals before 2012. Why the rituals? It's not done, it has not come in last 100 years. It has not come in last 150 years, these rituals. These rituals existed from the previous yugas. Previous yugas. Be it the Satyuga, be it the Dwapar, be it the Treta. Each yuga has taught us the rituals. This was their full-time job. The whole idea of profiteering and has never been. It is only a last 40-50 years phenomena out of the 10,000 years which the Shastras say, which we have been existing till now. This is the last corporatization 40-50, which is a minuscule of a time as compared to the existence of the earth, the existence of the soul, the existence of the universe. Now, what we need to change? We need to change that. We need to get rid of the 7 vices. Once you get rid of the 7 vices, probably you will be transforming yourself from being rajasic or tamasic at whatever sphere you are to being sattvic. It's very important that we strive ourselves to being sattvic. 7 vices: Kam, Krodh, Hingsha, Irsha, Ahankar, Lobh, Alas. Now, also fear is a tamas. Fear of being uncertain. Now, what is happening is there is a lot of life has become so vulnerable. We have become so vulnerable. We Indians, when I see the news, hear the news all around, life just is going, and then we get into a pain of uncertainty. Always be thankful to God. Always. Be it in your pain, be it in your happiness. There is a saying in Bhagavad Gita: remain like Shivji, who is in meditation, who is oblivious to a pain or oblivious to the happiness which is going around. Let the cycle of life flow on. Cycle of life, cycle of soul flows on from within a space from one time to another. That is something which we need to understand. Very, very important for us to understand. And if we don't understand, time will teach us. Pain will come if you have taken the form of a creature, of a life. It's because of certain purpose. I am not making this video for the sake of being a spiritual guru. It's not the purpose. The purpose is I am making it because I feel that mental health is something which is very, very important. And mental health doesn't mean partying. Doesn't only mean partying. Let me put it in that way. Doesn't only mean drinking. Doesn't only mean I'm smiling a lot. There was a saint during the 12th century Bengal, Ram Prasad Sharma, who used to say that "Aap jitna haste ho, utna hi rote ho." This is what he used to say. Your quota of your happiness in one life is fixed. Your quota of sadness of one life is fixed. Everything is fixed. Your number of hair in your body is fixed. I didn't plan that, I should have so much of hair. How your hair will be, how your eyelids, any control you have on anything? Nothing. When you become very rich, when you become very powerful, when I say, oh, I have done it. Ramakrishna Paramahans ji never said I have done it. God has done it through me. And trust me, this is something which is very important. Now, how do you get, it's very difficult. As I said, I keep saying that it's very difficult to be mentally stress-free when you are going through a pain, when somebody is going through a pain. It's easier said than done. It's, I'm sitting in a room making this video, much easier said than done. But what you can do, make your changes just right now. What you have to do, observe. First, observe yourself. It's very, very important that you need to know, where you're coming from. And if in case you can't know that, just observe, be calm. Even if there is a situation wherein it's anti-you, it's anti your property, it's anti your ego, remain calm. Remain calm. 7 vices plus the fear. So it's basically 7 plus 1. Calm, krodh, hingsha, Irsha, Ahankar, Lobh, Alas. All are interconnected. Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji said that in case you are having Rajas, you will easily fall into Tamas. But in case you are in Sattvic, remain Sattvic. You need an effort to remain Sattvic. You need a conscious effort to remain Rajasic. But you don't need a conscious effort to remain tamasic. It's because you lose your consciousness, you lose your subconsciousness. I am merrymaking. I'm drinking. I'm having a party. I'm having a ball of a time, and all this. This is happening. Second, learning, which I've learned in last few years or few months of research. When you are in a meditative state, when you are in a calm state, you hold the time. You can only understand what I am saying when you start practicing it. But when you are merrymaking, I am not discouraging anyone from merrymaking. I am no one to discourage. It is written in your destiny, it is written in your lifetime, it will happen. If it's not written, it will not happen. So when you are merrymaking, time flies. यार शाम को 11 बजे हम पब गए, रात को 2 कब बजे दारू पी रहे हैं, whatever we are doing, रात को 2 बज गए, पता नहीं चला, इतनी जल्दी बज गए यार, और 1 घंटे रह जाते हैं. We keep saying like this, we do keep saying like this, because I have traveled through that journey. It's not that I am a sattvic person. I am still striving to be one to get into there. What I have done is something which needs a different video altogether. But what I have learned, being a mortal human being, is something which I need to share. The pain which is going on, it's very obvious to have pain. That's something which is accrued because of the past karmas or the karmas which is there. Unfortunately, we don't know what we have done in our past karmas. Unfortunately, we don't know. Sometimes consciously, intentionally, unintentionally, we tend to do a lot of things which might be wrong. Hence, a greater Chaitanya is... Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji always used to say that Chaitanya is Bhagwan. You need to think, you need to have a very, very strong Chaitanya, to judge what is wrong, what is right. What is happening nowadays is everybody has an opinion. Wrong, right, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the law of universe. I have an opinion, plus now there is also a medium of an opinion. Earlier there used to be no Facebook, no Twitter, no this, no Instagram, this, that and all. Now there is also a medium of everybody putting their opinion on this one. So if I have an opinion, that's your opinion. And people, when they argue, they say, that's your opinion, this is my opinion. Now what is the universal truth? Nobody's bothered. Nobody says that, look, this is the law. Now I am here, you are outside the law. Nobody is bothered about this law. He or she who is wrong, or even if I put myself in this position, I'll say, look, this is my opinion, this is your opinion. I don't care. This is how I want to know. Understand the universal law. There is enough scriptures available. Kali Yuga came as the last Yuga. Why? Because God knew that during Kali Yuga there will be pain. During Kali Yuga there will be much suffering of the human beings. And who passes this test gets into Satyuga. Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga came with all the scriptures, with all the Upanishads. They were not working in a corporate life, coming back in the evening, watching TV, and then, making this one. This was their full-time job of making scriptures, so that people in Kali Yuga make use of this. All the big strotas, all the big mantras has all come from previous yugas, isn't it? Have we made it in Kali Yuga? 99% of them have come. What we are only doing in Kali Yuga is practicing those, observing those. So let's respect those facts. Let's respect scriptures. Let's be more spiritual. When we say more spiritual, unfortunately, there is a leaning towards being more aggressively and more fundamentalistic spiritual. No. Banishing one religion for the sake of another religion is not right. Every religion, trust me, my words. I trust Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji a lot. When Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji practiced Islam for a few months, when he practiced Christianity for a few months, he said everything assimilates into the same destination. It's all the same. All the same. Just the path is different, the practice is different. So banishing one religion for the sake of another religion is wrong. Is completely wrong. I have told this to many of my Muslim friends. Kafir is not the one who practices another religion. And hence you go ahead and killing another religion. I'm sorry, I have got a lot of Muslim friends. It doesn't mean to offend any religion. I can say the same for this one. Is Kafir as Prophet has said, is means who doesn't believe in religion. Doesn't believe in God. That's the meaning of Kafir. What the scriptures say is, look, if you don't believe in God, try to make him understand to believe in God. If he doesn't understand God, this is what Prophet has said. This is written in Islam. Unfortunately, the practices have been different, and hence the violence has come, and hence, this. And this is the same scenario with all the religions. With all the religions. Unfortunately. Make him understand what is God. If you don't have the patience of making him understand what is God, then you leave him alone. Life will teach him what is God. This is what it means. Leave him alone. Banish him. Don't kill him. Banish him. Leave him alone. He will understand what is God. He will go through the cycle of life, pain, happiness, excitement, this, that, and all. God has given lot of ras in Hindi. Lot of ras in this universe. बहुत सारे रस हैं. And we human beings transform from one ras to another ras. Today I am happy. The next minute I can be sad. I can get a bad news and I can be sad. This sadness keeps with me for 1 hour, 2 hours. Then it's lunch time. Then it's dinner time. I am feeling hungry. Although the sadness is there, I am feeling hungry. So that is another ras. I need to eat to survive. So these things needs to be realized. So patience is something which is waning out nowadays. I see, and when I say nowadays, that includes me obviously. Try to be more patient. A soul, my connotation of a soul's journey in a life is soul travels through space and time. Space can be cloudy, have a lot of clouds in it, and sometimes it's clear. How you behave during the clear times, how you behave when you're not having pain or not having distress, is what karma you create, and the repercussions and the results of that karma is what you're going to get when you're having a bad time. Travel of a soul is function of time and space. My dad used to say it. Very important for us to know. This is a time, be meditative. Remain meditative. Try to avoid liquor. This is my humble submission. Try to remain sattvic. Try to remain vegetarian as much as possible. Just try. There is no harm in trying. Be meditative. Use lot of strotas, Om Namah Shivaya, mantras, Mahamrityunjay mantra, and I am trying to be a good disciple to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Ji. Try to read scriptures in case you have got time. It'll wane away lot of your pain and uncertainty. Trust me completely on that. I am not fully fearless. I still fear for the future. But imagine a person when you're on the last, when somebody is on the last breath. I have seen my dad when on the 11th of March when he expired. Whenever I used to be with him, he was on BiPAP ventilator because I had told not to get the invasive ventilation done. He was on a critical condition. I always used to see, because I've seen him for almost 46 years, 46 years. I always used to think, such a lively person, such this, that, he was a pretty healthy person. What would his thoughts be when he's on the BiPAP oxygen ventilator? What is going on? He was in a CCU, so obviously I was there. I used to be there with him in Calcutta. I used to be there with him for a certain time of the hours, not all the 24 hours. What is his thoughts going on? I used to always guess. In fact, when he was there, when he was little, in a position to speak, I asked him, Dad, what are the thoughts? He told me something. He said, it's very important to be loving to others. And it's very difficult to love others. That is very important, but then that's very difficult. Why it's difficult? Because of the 7 vices, 7 plus 8, 7 plus 1. I always consider it 7 plus, the fear as the 8th vice. But I never considered this one. You get rid of the 7 plus 1 vices, you start loving others. It's natural. Because you start transforming yourself. A sattvic person will always love others. He will not have ego. Very, 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 very difficult to be a sattvic. Extremely difficult to be a sattvic. I can fall prey to my ego. I can fall prey to my alter ego. I can fall prey to a calm. I can fall prey to a krodh. I can fall prey, I have not got an increment. I have not got this. My profit is not good. I'm making losses. I can fall prey to fear. So I always used to, he told me this. And then I used to think that, what is he going through? He used to say that he used to be a little fearful. He used to always hold my hand and always say, remain here. I said, Baba, I cannot remain here full time because, I have to know if you are here, then nothing will happen to me. This is what he used to say. He was so confident that his son will save him, come what may. He was suffering from a grave illness, lung cancer. We caught him at stage 4, unfortunately. And he was 87 plus. So what had happened is, he used to always hold my hand before I go and he used to say, don't go. Now, every time I used to go, I used to think, why is he thinking like this? I always used to ask myself, maybe because he had a fear of losing his life. Now, if we go down, it's actually not fear of losing life. It's the fear of what is there for me the next, after this life. In case I lose my life, how will I lose my life? What is going to... So it's very important. The Greeks earlier used to understand death. I respect the words of Sadhguru. I respect him as a spiritual leader, and there is a book which Sadhguru has written, Death. Try to read it. For you to be spiritual, get into sattvic life, you need to understand death. Greeks used to meditate and used to, their only purpose of being, earlier times, earlier Greeks, used to be only purpose is to understand death. The greatest victory for them, in mythology, the greatest victory during that time was when they see death front to front, on face, F to F, when they're taking the last breath of their life. Nachiketa has said this, that if you conquer death, you conquer everything. So my only request is, be meditative, be extremely spiritual, remain humble, don't run after too much of profiteering or materialistic life with so that it causes pain to others, be it your employees, be it your wife, be it your family members, be it your vendors, let everybody live. Because the law of karma which you are creating. I have seen people getting rid of the jobs of the employees left, right and center.